All right, there we go. We're back in studio for another edition of the Fresh Takes podcast with Russo and Felice. Of course, I'm Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, Mad Myth, training legend himself, Nick Felice. Nick, you staying warm today?
Well, you can't have Russo and Felice without Felice or Russo.
Duh.
But yes, I am in training. I am in training for the Seneca 7. Yes, I do run. It is in April.
You're looking good. I'm not going to lie. You've been looking good the past couple weeks.
I have lost 6 pounds.
See?
In 30 days. But not bad, not terrible. Paul,
Hey,
tell me how the Redskins make the playoffs. Because they are still alive.
Went out.
They're alive, Paul.
Just went out. Why are we discussing them?
Honestly,
I already have
here's the thing.
I already have them as technically a topic of discussion for the NFL.
So they need to win out and have the Cowboys lose out and have the Eagles lose out besides that Cowboys win.
Yeah.
They could get the losing out part, but the winning out part, that's the hard part.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones, same amount of wins.
It's true. It's true, but we just can't be bad the right way.
No.
And it drives me up a wall. But I digress. I have that as a semi-topic of discussion in football for our NFL talk. There we go.
So, yeah, luckily for you, we are talking NFL today.
Yeah, obviously. NCAA will be first. Wacky rivalry week going on. I don't know about wacky, but it was an interesting rivalry weekend for sure in college football.
Is that a smile, Paul? Is that a smile? Is Alabama done?
Tricky Nicky, he's done.
Really? He's smiling about that week.
12th. They're not even going to get a New Year's 6 game, the way it sounds.
Is your smile getting bigger? I see you smiling. All right, it's getting creepy now. Stop.
All right. Obviously, the NFL. We'll discuss the NBA. And then afterwards, it's going to be some basketball talk, NBA and NCAA. Both of those seasons have gotten off to wacky starts. That is for sure the wacky sports area at the moment. If you've been up on that. If not, we'll go over a broad stroke and discuss, obviously, stuff going on there.
And then we're going to help you make money.
Well, yeah. Lock of the week. Don't know if we're helping you out that much. I know I'm not helping myself out overall too much. But we'll get to that portion of some picks. Obviously, when we do our picks for NFL, among other things. So let's jump right into it.
Let's.
That's what I said. So,
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
My bad.
Do your thing.
Conference championship weekend here for the NCAA for football. A lot of definitely big matchups to decide postseason opportunities for certain teams. But more importantly, let's take a quick look back at the weekend that was rivalry weekend. Technically rivalry weekend started on Tuesday a week ago because of the midweek action with Akron and Ohio, which I bet you didn't know about, Nick. But many people didn't know about that, at least in that term.
That there was MAC football or that was a rivalry?
Rivalry.
Akron and who?
Ohio.
No, I did not know that.
All right.
Would have guessed Toledo.
We'll start Thanksgiving, though. The Egg Bowl, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. What a way across multiple boards to get it really kicked off on the major side of things, with a guy literally costing his team because he faked peed on a fire hydrant like a dog, scoring what should have been the game-tying touchdown, 7 points overall, and in turn getting your coach fired the next day. I mean, I wasn't watching that game. I was watching the NFL game.
And this is who? Mississippi State?
Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Who got their coach fired? Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Which, by the way, that's a joke. I mean, you're already you're rebuilding. Matt Luke was on his second full year at Ole Miss. hard to believe Ole Miss has kind of fallen the way they have, obviously with the sanctions because of Hugh Freeze, but I mean, this was a team that we thought a couple of years ago, man, we thought that they were challenging the SEC and nationally again, and they're back to being 4-8. They're back to the Syracuse land.
Syracuse 5-7.
Yeah, that was what a way to end the year there. All right, other games. Virginia Tech and Virginia.
No, I did see that game. The ending of it.
That was a crazy. First of all, that game overall was pretty crazy because that's the de facto see who we get to play, see who plays Clemson game. Yeah, certainly.
That was their first win.
In Virginia, for Virginia, like it's been such a weird year. Even though they're at 9, now they're at 9-3. But those 3 losses were so bad that they're unranked, and Virginia Tech is still ranked at 8-4. So it will be interesting. I think the game, the Clemson game, we'll get into it more once we get out of discussion of the past week.
And that was Virginia's first win versus Virginia Tech in 15 straight games.
How about that?
And I did see Virginia did jump into the top 25 for the college football playoff today. They are now 23, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how they do the rankings exactly on ESPN. Like, for our stuff, I typically pull up ESPN. And I don't know if they go what they were ranked that week.
Because they weren't ranked last week.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. They probably are ranked, and it's just whatever. But
it doesn't really matter. Do you think they could compete with Clemson?
Let's get into that when we discuss the games themselves for this week, because we're going to try and get through a couple more of the major games.
Iron Bowl?
Well, I wanted to get to the Apple Cup, Washington State. Probably the bigger news really from that game, more or less. Chris Peterson will be stepping down after the bowl game. Does not, in my opinion, get the credit he deserves overall nationally. He is the Boise State coach that brought them to prominence. Certainly brought Washington back from, I wouldn't say the dead, but they were certainly a treading water program.
Made them a playoff team.
And, yeah, made them a playoff team outside of this year, the past 2 seasons. So, hopefully we'll go on a good note with Bowling. Don't know where they're headed yet. Actually, there's a couple bowl games already at least have one team locked in. So, we'll get to that, though, later on. The battle for I-4, as it's called, USF and UCF, one that I personally enjoy because I enjoy that area. UCF dominated USF, got Charlie Strong fired. Sounds like Willie Taggart is going to go back to USF, the way it sounds. Yeah, definitely the big rivalry game of the week, Wake Forest Syracuse.
Yeah.
You look at the span on ESPN, and I'm not going to pull it up only because the way it will pop up on the screen for you guys. But there's just a sea of like rivalry games, and then sandwiched in between a bunch of them is Wake Forest Syracuse. So it's kind of funny.
You were at that game? Did you stay the whole end?
We did not, actually. We left.
You missed the end.
Yeah, we missed the end, but I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever, and this goes for the other games we've been to this past year, I don't think the Dome has ever had less energy than it did.
It looked empty.
Yeah, they announced this 33,000, and as one of those people there.
There was not.
No way.
What's a hole?
50.
No, there was not over half.
No, not even close. As somebody who majored in the background of sport management, obviously, sure, I don't know how many people were in the suites, but I can tell you this for a fact. There maybe was 15,000 in regular seats, maybe. And I can tell you what, a bunch of us left way before. We weren't the only ones who left. That dome might have been half For what they had, they might have had half the people there by the end of that game if they were lucky.
Did you see Syracuse on Scott Van Pelt's Bad Beats?
Yes, because of the way that went down. It's funny because I was listening to it in the car coming home.
You knew what the over-under was?
I don't know what the over-under was.
Well, that was the bad beat.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Let's get away from that, though, because it's whatever.
It was 68, and then they made it 69 on that touchdown that ended the game, if I am saying this correctly. But it was nuts. Great rivalry.
Yeah. Ohio State and Michigan. That Ohio State team is pretty good. We've been saying it all year, but now people are kind of calling for Harbaugh a little bit, Michigan fans, and it's something I've said from the whole year is I think he had to beat Ohio State to keep his job, and
he didn't.
He didn't. 0-5 for Harbaugh now. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. That pretty much takes, in my opinion, that probably takes him out of a New Year's Six game.
That's their third loss.
We'll circle back. I've heard 2 bowl games they're really trying to push for Michigan right now, which one of them may suit them back up with a Notre Dame matchup, by the way.
Really?
So that'd be interesting. I wonder what the stat would be on that the last time they played twice in a year of football.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ever happened.
Probably not.
We'll get the boys over at Elias to look that up.
Yeah, our boys.
Clemson beat South Carolina handily. Georgia beat Georgia Tech handily. Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State handily. Wisconsin upset Minnesota. The reason I'm doing this because I want to talk about the major one last, obviously, Nick. Florida handled Florida State. Oregon handled Oregon State. Notre Dame handled Stanford. That's an old school rivalry.
Stanford, bad year.
Bad year, but usually they play tough no matter what against Notre Dame, and they just admittedly they had the first quarter lead, but I mean
they'll be back.
Yeah. And then really other than that, that's the only other Kentucky, in my opinion, this is a little bit of an upset. Kentucky beat Louisville. Northwestern beat Illinois. Indiana beat Purdue. And that's really about it from the major ones, I'd say. You have the old school rivalry. BC beat Pitt.
All right, moving on.
Let's get up to the main one, though, before we move on to the predictions for the week ahead in the NCAA.
Wake Forest, though, a better team. I'm just throwing that out. That's not a bad win for Syracuse.
I know you want to hear my deal here, Nick, and that's fine. I get it. But your honest reaction, because you guys all year, and I'm saying you guys as in you, Matt, Pat, not so much Justin because he doesn't really pay attention to college football as much as even you guys do who don't really pay attention to it. But it's Alabama. I've said all year that this is probably the worst Alabama team in the past decade. And you guys can understand why now. That defense is bad.
Losing their quarterback doesn't help.
Well, no, I don't think Tua would have made a difference in this game. Think about it. Auburn's points came pretty much from that freaking offense. And a couple special teams and defensive moves, but I don't think Tua really makes a difference in that game. I really don't. So, start here. Did you watch the game at all?
I did not,
okay.
But I saw how it ended.
It's all right. It's all right. But you saw the ending of it, you said.
Yes.
Okay. So, what about Nick Saban then? Give me your hot take on Nick Saban right now. I need it. Feed it into my veins.
He sucks.
Yes, Nick. Yes.
He sucks. He's overrated.
Yes.
I mean, he does win national championships.
Right into my veins.
So I don't know if I should really say the word sucks when you win national championships.
He sucks.
But he gets the best players every year. I know that. And
Syracuse is better than Bama.
Bro, slow your roll.
I said it.
Yeah, I think losing to will hurt. Sure, the defense definitely did not play particularly well, but I think Alabama could have been still in the mix if they had won that game, which would have been dumb because Georgia would have had to play this LSU game.
Yep.
And I don't know. He sucks, bro. What do you want me to tell you? Nick Saban, you should rip on Nick Saban. You're the one that hates
Tricky Nicky.
What do you think of him?
Oh, man, that was great. Although, to be fair, okay, so my favorite part of this game was Nick Saban crying like a little friggin' 5-year-old at halftime, even though technically he's right. But it was just so great seeing him just freak out. And you want to know what? Those 3 points in the end actually did make a difference. You go from playing an overtime game to obviously finishing in regulation.
Yep.
So, okay, that was great.
Not a fan of the kicking game. Him and Belichick.
So tremendous. Okay, let me switch screens here so we can get to championship weekend. Obviously not a super ton of games from the FBS side of it. Obviously, Friday you have the Pac-12 going, which I think is a smart idea. They get their own primetime slot. Utah and Oregon. Obviously, Utah has playoff implications on the line.
Does Oregon?
No. They're too deep. They got 2 losses and they're 13th. Utah 1 loss and 5th.
No.
Utah, if they win, they're probably in. I think is barring.
Really?
I'd say.
I think they need a Georgia loss.
Yeah, which we'll get to that game obviously, but not to prelude what I'm going to say, but I think Utah wins. They're in. You can talk. I clicked on the other screen.
I agree because I think not to jump ahead like
again. Unfortunately, I kind of preluded whatever.
They need Clemson, Georgia.
They don't need Clemson. I don't think.
Oh, if Clemson loses and they win, they're in. They need one of those 3 teams, Clemson or 2 teams, Clemson and Georgia.
I don't know.
They need one of them to lose. I don't think if Georgia wins and Utah jumps LSU, there's no way. There's no way.
Well, no.
LSU will be still in. Ohio State. Now they could fall out. But not as much as Clemson and Georgia. If Clemson and Georgia lose and Utah wins, they're in.
I'll put it to you this way. I think the 2 locks. Well, you want to know, I think there are 3 locks. I really do.
I think there's 2.
I think Ohio State.
Don't think Clemson's locked.
I think Ohio State, I think LSU, and I think Clemson are locked in.
I don't think Clemson. Clemson loses, they're out. They don't have any good wins.
Okay, then
they're out if they lose.
You can make that case, but if you're the committee, I think you have to put them in anyway. They've been undefeated.
Lost to Virginia?
They're one of 3 undefeated teams.
No,
going into this week.
Virginia.
Well, going into this week, they're one of 3 undefeated teams.
Yeah, but
they're
then
on the
you
playoff
add a
picture.
Virginia loss.
Clemson's good. I don't think people realize that team is probably closer to being a complete team than any of the other teams.
Well, they're going to get in because they're not going to lose to Virginia. I'm just saying if they lose, they're out. We'll see. I mean, we'll see Clemson win, and they'll be in.
Big 12 championship game. Small. Certainly, I'd say a small playoff ramification game only because should something wacky happen, the winner of this game somehow will get their way in, that being 7th ranked Baylor and number 6 Oklahoma. Both these teams I don't think either team is playoff worthy. Yeah, obviously, like I said, somehow something happens, and whoever wins will find themselves in. I think Oklahoma's going to win this one kind of handily. This Baylor team, I get that they've kind of snuck up on people. That defense is pretty good, but that offense all year has shown signs of struggle in a lot of games. Most notable is a game where I needed it for a parlay and it hit was when they played TCU, ended regulation at 9-9, tied 9-9 against TCU, a team that I think they ended up at like 7-5. They're OB in the bowl, but it's not a Gary Patterson TCU type team this year. I think 9's being a bit generous on the line. I mean, so I think Oklahoma's going to win.
I think this is a playing game to get into the mix.
I mean, they're already in the mix, technically.
Yeah, this is a playing. They need the winner of this game. We need 2 of the 3. I know you don't agree with me, but 2 of these 3 teams, Georgia, Clemson, and Utah, to lose. That's how they get in. They need 2 of the 3 to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could get Georgia, and I think you could get Utah. Clemson's going to be hard.
Next 3 games we're going to kind of just touch on quickly, only because of smaller ramification bowl game-wise. You have the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Louisiana versus App State. App State's 21st in the country, but they're 11-1. They, I believe, have out of the non-Power 5s, they have like the second best odds to sneak into a New Year's 6 game. I think they'll. I mean, the line's small for what I think it's going to be, for what it is, but App State, I think, will win that game pretty handily. The Louisiana team is good, though. They're 10-2. They have been getting some votes in the AP, I know, so you got that. In the MAC, the MAC was a bit wacky this year in terms of in-conference play. You have 7-5 Miami versus 8-4 Central Michigan. Buffalo does have a better record, but in conference they lost. I think they lost to Central Michigan at one point. Obviously, that gives them the tiebreak in. Like Central Michigan in that game, that offense is really good. It can click really well. And then in the Conference USA, the CUSA, UAB at Florida Atlantic. Again, not much doing overall, but UAB is a really great story because of what happened with the pro football program the past couple of years, losing it and then getting it back. They're in a pretty good spot, 9-3. I think FAU is just a little bit too good, though, especially with Lane Kiffin, who is putting up, I believe, the final edits to an audition tape for a Power 5 job again. So
he needs to get out of there.
Yeah. He's done really great turning that program around after Howard Schnellenberger retired. Okay. Wow. Talk 20 minutes about college football.
It's fine, man.
Now we get into the really good games, conference championship-wise. The American, Cincinnati, number 20 in the country, against Memphis, number 17 in the country. The Memphis team's good. I think the Cincinnati team people have slept on all year. I really like Cincinnati in the matchup. I really do. Certainly probably not a conference you pay too much attention to, Nick, I'm guessing.
No. I have not seen a game from Cincinnati. I have seen Memphis. I don't know. Cincinnati will win this
It's
game.
Okay. Georgia at LSU, the SEC championship game. LSU is a touchdown favorite over Georgia.
Make them 2 touchdown favorite. LSU's going to run the tables.
I agree. As much as I was high on Georgia to start the year, and I still a little bit am, that LSU offense is going to push the ball better than Georgia. Georgia's offense kind of sputters out in the second half a little bit the past few weeks.
If you're a fan of Utah, Oklahoma, Baylor, Georgia pulls off this upset. Not good.
No.
Not good.
The Mountain West, maybe not one exactly that people are saying anything too much about, but Hawaii, a really great program turnaround year for them. They're playing Boise State. Again, Boise State finds themselves in a spot where they could sneak themselves into a New Year 6 bowl game potentially, depending upon what happens.
We want another Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's be honest. Do it for Peterson.
Yes.
I got so many sons in the game here. The ACC, Virginia, Clemson. Clemson's 28.5-point favorite. That's pretty close to what I expect it to probably be, in all honesty.
I'll probably stay away from that one.
If you're betting, I think Virginia plus 28.5 is a solid move.
But I also because Clemson really blowing them.
Yeah, I think if Clemson can gets that game in hand, you might see, and Dabo's known to do it, pull the starters, get some other guys in there, especially in a game where you set yourself up for the playoffs. No sense in getting the other guys out there getting hurt. And then the last one of the night, technically speaking, the Big Ten, Ohio State. Ohio State technically the road team in this game, fun fact, against Wisconsin.
Really?
Ohio State 16.5-point favorite. I agree.
like that.
I don't. That's a tough one only because Wisconsin will be able to control. They're a run-first team, so you can control the tempo with that. So
I like Ohio State this year, man. Yeah. They're good. They are good.
We'll discuss it next week. I'm not alluding to the one other matchup, though. There's one other Division I FBS matchup, regular season game, that is next weekend.
Army-Navy.
Yeah, damn it, Nick.
Come on. This ain't my first rodeo.
That's true. All right.
Selection Sunday's on Sunday.
All right. Let's go to the other football then. Talked a lot about college freaking football.
It's surprised. Good.
I like college football. It's fun. I know you guys don't. Well, you guys, not the viewers and listeners, but you and Matt and Pat.
Did you just call our viewers?
No, I didn't call them out.
Listen,
I love our viewers. I love our listeners.
It's all right. They'll understand.
I got told somebody to subscribe to the Finger Lakes One channel strictly for us today.
Nice.
Which I appreciate. It's still kind of weird, but...
Who's the MVP of the NFL?
Oh. Russ.
Still.
Yeah.
Not Kirk.
Kirk's in the mix, but...
Christian Kirk?
Shut up. All right. NFL Week 13 spanned 4 days of... What's the thing in Turkey that makes you sleepy? Whatever it is, turkey coma days.
Oh yeah.
Man, your
Redskins are getting a bunch of coaches.
Let's start. I didn't do this staged right here, but let's start with what actually happened first. The Bills, they're the real deal. I said it a couple weeks ago.
I know I've never been a big Bills guy,
but
I might be buying them.
Yeah, this team you should buy some stock in. Fun fact, by the way, courtesy of Mike Bruno. The Bills have a shot at the number 1 seed in the AFC if they win out, because that makes them beating Baltimore, which is obviously this week. But that means they also sweep their division record out. And despite that means they tie the Patriots, which puts them at a better conference record than them. So,
all they have to do is win out?
All they have to do is win out.
Really? No help?
Yep, no help.
Wow.
Because they put themselves in a better head-to-head, obviously, than the others. How about that?
I think it's going to end this week, but...
I agree.
We'll save it for predictions.
But wait, you can't spoil it yet. Can't spoil that part yet.
People look forward to that.
But, as much as the Cowboys are struggling, I think that game was more about the Bills, in all honesty. That defense has been their strong point all year. And we finally have some signs of that defense having some mojo, too. Just straight up mocking Dallas. And it was great. I mean, if you're like an NFL fan, outside of probably I'd say the Dallas and the Patriots, man, that had to have felt real. That had to have been awesome, just witnessing the Bills defense straight up mocking Dak and Jerry and all the freaking Dallas Cowboys.
Really? Yeah. They did. They own Thanksgiving. I actually won a parlay on Thanksgiving because of these Bills. I did the Bills plus 6.5. It worked. Could have won a lot more if the Bears, but I pushed on the Bears. But Thanksgiving was owned by the Bills, and I have not been a big Bills believer on this show, but I am now. Don't think 1 seed, but they're definitely a playoff team. I think they're going to be screwed just like the NFC West loser. They're going to have to go into somebody's home. Theirs will probably be a lot harder than probably going into Dallas, whatever the Niners Seahawks loser does. They'll probably have to go into Houston or Kansas City. Maybe New England. Who knows? Bills, I'm buying them. That defense is legit. I'm a believer in Josh Allen. I like Cole Beasley. Love what Cole Beasley did against his old team. But don't know if I'm buying them all the way because I still think this is the Ravens and the Patriots and the Chiefs.
I mean, you're probably right.
But the Texans, nice win they had, though.
They definitely stifled the word I like.
Yes.
There.
Tom Brady's coming down to earth a little bit.
Oh, it's almost like he's showing his age.
Yes.
Father Time, undefeated, never lost.
I know. I don't know if they're going to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, they've been to the Super Bowl, last 3 years?
Yeah.
It's got to end eventually. And I do like the Ravens this year. I think they're loaded. They got the best kicker in the league. That's all you need.
Allegedly.
No.
Statistically, he's not this year, but okay.
Fact.
Yeah. Kansas City.
Butt kicker?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a butt kicker.
Yeah. You're right, he is.
But I think the first thing you put on there, Paul, that's the biggest storyline of the year. Redskins don't only fire their coach, they fire other coaches.
We be firing everybody.
And they got a shot at the playoffs.
Now say it with me. I tweeted this today. Say it with me. Everybody take a deep breath. All right, Nick, everybody.
I don't know what we're saying.
In through your nose, out through your mouth. Introducing Washington Redskin head coach Ron Rivera.
Really? This is all part of the plan?
I would love it if Ron Rivera got hired by the Redskins.
Not Pat Shurmur.
No.
Not Freddie Kitchens.
No.
Mike Tomlin, I've heard.
No. No. I can't get down with that guy anymore. I just can't. We're enough of a disaster. We don't need that walking disaster at the moment. Anyway. Yeah, fun fact, the Panthers were up 14-0, and the rest of the game was 29-7 in the Redskins' favor, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Haskins, I'm telling you, Haskins is coming into his own a little bit here. Watch out. So
that would be something. Get them to the playoffs, 7-9.
I'm happy.
Hosting the Seahawks.
I really am happy about that. That was a wacky game last night, by the way. Though obviously won by each quarterback, obviously with Kirk and Russell, might have been two of the wackiest interceptions I've ever seen. You know, especially Russ's. Like, Russ did the right thing by batting. It's just that, you know.
He couldn't really get under it.
Yeah. I mean, he did the right thing. That's what you're taught to do. It's just that he also was getting hit at the time, too. So it
was a really crazy game. Look at the Seahawks were going to blow it open in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings stormed back. And then they couldn't get it going. Great game. Seahawks are legit. You know, my brother's a Seahawks fan. It's going to be tough. NFC's tough. We'll see. We will see.
Okay.
What's on Thursday, Paul?
Oh, so we're riding the picks. Okay. I'm with it.
Did you have any other storylines?
I don't think there was like a super ton this week.
Did Pittsburgh start it?
Well, the Bengals got their first win.
Yes, the guy's off the roof.
The Dolphins beat the Eagles, but that Eagles team.
Did Pittsburgh start it?
I don't want to have this conversation.
Yes or no?
If you want me to say yes or no, I say yes. But
I say no.
That's fair. That's why it's Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice.
You get a Felice opinion and a Russo opinion.
All right, Nick, tell the viewers and listeners at home last week's records.
You went 12-4. You are now 102-60 on the season.
I really need to listen to my picks I make down here more.
Seriously, and I was 8-8, 89-73 on the season.
All right,
it's a 13-game difference with 4 weeks to go. I am going to. It's
kind of insurmountable.
I know if it gets over 16, I can't win the last week. It will be 16. I bet you it will be last week. I'll do the opposite of every single one. You'll hear 16 Ys.
Why? Why are you? Thursday night, Dallas Cowboys at Chicago. I'm going to go Chicago.
I'm going Dallas.
Yeah. That's a toss-up game. It really is.
Dallas needs it.
I think I don't know. I think the weather elements.
Room for Chicago.
I think the weather elements kind of favor Chicago, obviously, a little bit, but it's a toss-up game. It is.
But
our first of the freaking Sunday at 1 o'clockers. Oh, Colts at Buccaneers.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I got the Colts.
Same. I'm going Colts as well. Divisional matchup. Lions are in Minnesota. I will be going with Minnesota.
I will be going with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Minnesota as well.
The game that we were alluding to because of obvious reasons. Ravens at the Bills.
It's going to be the Ravens.
I agree it's going to be the Ravens, but... Hold on. Not so fast, my friend.
You like him.
I do. I love him. I don't know what the line is yet. I haven't seen the line on that game. But if it's anything more than 4 points in Baltimore's favor, take Bills with the points. This is going to come down to a field goal, I think.
Really?
Yep.
Solid.
One of those things have to give with both those teams, I think. And I think it's going to be an interesting point game for both of those.
It's another game winner for Tucker.
Yeah. Maybe not exact game winner, but I think a field goal within the final 3 or 2.5 minutes of play.
How's your burger going to miss the field?
Hauschka burger. All right, the Redskins at Green Bay. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Green Bay. Which, of course, we've been picking against the Redskins I don't know how many weeks in a row. We might get Matt LaFleur fired this week.
You might. Just fire the rest of the coaches.
Oh, the Broncos, coming off a very nice win against the Chargers, are in Houston for the Texans.
Got the Texans.
Same. Okay, a Battle of Ohio. The Bengals are in Cleveland.
But I do like Drew Lock.
Drew Lock looked good.
Yeah, he did. And that Cortland Sutton's a good player, too. Who we got here? Bengals who?
Bengals, Browns.
I got the Bengals. 2 in a row.
Riding
Dalton's back.
Riding it.
John Ross, I think, is back.
Okay. 49ers at the Saints.
I got the Saints at the Superdome.
I got the Saints as well. Panthers at the Falcons.
What do you like in this one? No Ron Rivera. You got Perry Fuel.
Yeah, Perry Fuel. Wasn't he a Bills coach at one point?
Yep. He won the Giants as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. The heater went off. I'm going to go Atlanta, mostly because I need a big week out of Matt Ryan fantasy-wise. So
why?
I just gave the reason why.
Panthers are winning this game. Christian McCaffrey going to play well for his new coach. Going into Atlanta and winning this game.
Okay. Miami at the Jets.
Who you like?
For the sake of the Redskins, I need Miami to win.
Not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend. I got the Jets in this one.
It's a fair pick.
Adam Gase is keeping his job.
All right.
I do like that Dolphins coach.
The first of the 4 o'clock games on Sunday, Chargers at the Jaguars. Oh, God. Gardner Minshew back under center for the Jags. I'm going to go with the Jags.
I'm going with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Get rid of Nick Foles.
Perhaps you could make the case for this game being game of the week material. Chiefs in Foxborough to take on the Patriots.
So I asked this premature last week. Do you think this would be a high score? You said it was going to be a mid-scoring game.
Yep.
I think it's going to be high scoring.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs will finally beat them this time. Got the Chiefs in this game.
I respect that.
Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast. I'm going to go with Chiefs as well.
Oh. Pat Mahomes?
Pat Mahomes and Harrison Butker. All right. The Steelers on the road to take on the Cardinals.
We still in the 1 o'clocks?
No, 4.
Got the Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals as well.
What can I say?
Titans at the Raiders. Raiders need a game. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
I'm going Tannehill. I don't know why I'm trusting this division, but I am going Ryan Tannehill. Going to go 6-1. It's going to beat the Raiders this week.
Sunday Night Football, Seahawks at the Rams.
Got Seattle.
Okay. I'm going to go with Seattle as well. That Rams team certainly not what we thought it was going to be.
But they did do pretty well last week.
Yeah. And then Monday, man, I'm sorry, Nick. This might be one of the worst Monday night games ever.
It's all right.
Just in terms of player attribute-wise.
I got the Giants.
Giants at Eagles. You got Giants?
Giants.
Give me them as well.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
5-8 Eagles. Still a game back.
8. Now, while we're still on the topic of basketball, we got to give a quick shout-out to the people here at Finger Lakes One because we are headed back on the road this Thursday night, heading to Newark for the tip-off classic there. 6 p.m. tip-off starts with Canandaigua versus Victor, with Victor having a player who is 7'1".
Really?
Yes.
Wow,
now,
7'1"?
Yeah.
Where did they get a guy that's 7'1"?
I don't know.
What are they growing in Victor?
I don't know. Rich
7'1"?
Yeah.
Is he like heavily recruited?
I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it.
What is he, a freshman? If he's a freshman,
I just get certain things. I hear certain things and get told certain things, and
7'1".
Yeah.
Is that like the? Where's our Elias people? Is that like the tallest guy in Section 5 history?
That might be one of the tallest people in Section. No,
that's one of the tallest people in the world.
Yeah, that is wild. And then,
is Victor good?
I guess we'll find out Thursday night.
Yes, tune in.
You gotta tune in. And then followed shortly after that will be Waterloo playing, obviously, the host Newark. Jim Senacropi and making his return to the booth, Kevin Korzaneski will be on the call for both games. Coverage tips off 6 p.m. with Canandaigua Victor, followed by Waterloo and Newark.
Tune in.
Definitely tune in. All right, let's do NBA first. We're not running short on time, but we're getting there.
Still talking about the Warriors, I see.
Well, it's just I even for what they've had to deal with, it's so funny and weird seeing them just in the basement. They are technically the worst team in the NBA by a half game.
How are they not worse than the Knicks?
Because the Knicks have 17 losses, the Warriors have 18.
4 wins each?
Yes. Also, big news in the East just now. The Miami Heat beat the Toronto Raptors in overtime. That means the Heat are back in second place, baby. The Heat actually are the third best team record-wise in the NBA now. How about that? People thought Tyler Hero was the best rookie on the Heat. They were wrong. I know it's Matt's favorite player, Kendrick Nunn. But even with all the injuries, and I get it, but like the winning think about this: the winning percentage for the Warriors is .182. That's crazy. Like for what we're used to with that team the past 5 years.
It's not that team, Paul.
I know. It's one of those things where
I know it's the same name, same city, different arena,
different logo
players.
Technically.
They suck. They are going to be the second worst team because the Knicks will be the worst team this year.
I don't know. The Hawks are trying to make a very strong case right now.
Hawks had a NBA history last night. Did you know what they set?
It's probably something to have to do with Vince Carter.
Nope. They had the biggest turnaround defensively in NBA history.
What?
They gave up a certain amount of points one game, and then the next point, they gave up 79 less points. And that is the most
That's absurd.
Points in a turnaround defensively in NBA history. 79-point difference. I don't even know how that's possible.
That's not. I'm convinced that's not.
And it was against the Warriors, I believe. And that was the second game.
Just play the Warriors. You'll be good.
Yeah, and I think Trae Young's good, but Paul, is Luka better?
100%. I said it leading up to the draft, what is now about to be 2 years ago, that Luka is the best player in the draft, and all of you guys laughed at me. Well, guess what? I was right.
Are you?
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good little kid. Good little player.
I'll put it to you this way. I have the pulse on the European scene. I was right about Giannis, and I was right about Luka.
There you go over there and watch some games.
And I'm starting to be right about Frank Nikita as well.
Oh, you shut up.
I said you had to give him some time. Give him. Well, actually, not so much at you. You understood. But it was more at Justin. Just give him some time.
Justin was a big Frank Ntilikina hater.
Still is.
Oh, yeah. He's a hater. You know what, Justin? Hate. Pick a team.
There we go, yes.
Pick a team, Justin. You don't even have to pick a team.
What happened to, like, in Denver this year?
I don't. Is he a Portland fan? He says he follows Melo. And first of all, who the hell follows Carmelo Anthony? Who would follow Carmelo? It's like, you know, I want to go follow Devin and Mitchell, whatever his name is. Jazz.
Donovan Mitchell.
Spider. That's who I'm going to follow. No. You don't. I hate followers because I'm a LeBron hater, and I hate LeBron followers, so I hate followers. Be a leader. Pick a team. I am a Knicks fan. I have given my heart and soul to this team, and we lose. Pick a team before you come at my players.
Yeah.
Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah.
Frank Ntilikina is the second best defensive player. He just doesn't talk as much as Pat Beverly. You watch him. He's not an offensive threat. Justin just looks at points. That's why he's a mellow guy. Looks at points. There's other parts of the game. Look at look at defense. Melo don't do that. And what do you think of Melo winning Player of the Week? What is your thoughts on that?
So not to be whatever, but Luka deserved it over.
Yes.
Luka deserved it over him.
James Harden.
And I was about to say, James Harden probably deserved it more than the two of them.
Yes. James Harden had scored 60 points in 31 minutes.
Yeah. You want to know what he averaged last week? 47. He averaged 47 a game last week.
Like, I was happy for Melo, and then I heard about what these guys did.
Somebody put it perfectly. It was just like, welcome back, Melo award that week.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even like he had a good full week. He had like one good game. By the way, I have a freaking bad problem with people who just take 0-0 for the sake of taking 0-0 like he did. Like, it's one thing like Enes Kanter, okay, just take 0-0, like whatever. Melo, big Carmelo Anthony.
What do you like better, 0-0 or just 0? Or do you think it's just dumb at all that 0 can be picked as a number?
See, now you're tugging at my heartstrings because, you know, NASCAR 0-0 has a very prominent place in my heart. So, with Buckshot Jones.
Was there any zeros in NASCAR?
Yeah.
Isn't Russell Westbrook 0?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. There are a couple other zeros now, too, in the NBA.
What a weird number.
Yeah.
It's not even a number.
Is it a prime number?
I don't know.
What about the Heat? Certainly have surprised. Even as a fan of the Heat, this Heat team has surprised me.
They're a hardworking team.
Yeah.
Are they legit?
I think you got to say that maybe not title, but I think they're legit in the East to be a threat.
And it builds for the following years.
I mean, this team, not to say it's out of schedule, but I mean, Kendrick Nunn's come out and done a really great job. Obviously, Tyler Hero's finally hitting the stride a little bit. And despite him being the big signing, Jimmy Butler has been the catalyst in this deal. He has...
Yeah, people thought he was crazy going there.
Yeah, it certainly speaks to, and people talk about it all the time, and even I'll say it, and people don't like it, but I think it speaks to the culture of the team down there that Pat Riley and Spoelstra have pretty much created and cultivated. So
you want to know one bright spot for your team?
Okay.
Might not be now, but maybe next year. Fizdale will be joining them again.
Oh, I'll be so happy.
He's coming back, Paul.
Oh, I feel so bad for him.
He's coming back, Paul.
Fizz. You guys have destroyed Fizz.
We destroyed him.
I can't say you.
It's not the fans.
James Dolan's destroyed him.
Steve Mills.
Actually, you want to know what? Maybe not even Dolan. Steve Mills has destroyed him.
Oh, I'm again this.
Yes, let's go.
Here
we go.
When I heard that they might get this Raptors guy, I swear to God.
Nick Nurse?
If they keep Steve Mills with this guy, what does Steve Mills have on Dolan?
That's a good point.
If he stays after all this mess, and Fizdale gets fired, and maybe Robert Perry gets fired, and they get this Raptors guy, and Steve Mills is still there. I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me on this.
All right, we'll get you out of this by you leading into the next segment, the wacky start to college hoops, because is there a true number one?
No, it's wide open, Paul. I don't think there's a true number one. There's not a true champion out there this year.
Second part, technically it's a two-part question. Does the ACC have a chance this year really at all?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100% because you got Louisville, who had a nice win over Michigan. You pointed out Michigan had one of the biggest jumps from non-ranked into the top 25.
It's true.
Tied Kansas for the record ever. Did you know top 6 was actually Syracuse Notre Dame actually did that. A couple, 6 years ago or 9 years ago. Syracuse jumped all the way up to 10th one time.
We did.
Oh, and ACC has a chance because they got North Carolina. I know Duke got upset by Stephen F. Austin. They're still going to be solid. And they got Louisville, and they got Virginia. Those are 4 teams. They're going to have a shot come March. There is no number one. Michigan State, Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, Louisville, none of them, Virginia. None of them are going to show up. Gonzaga. They're never going to show up and be the true favorite this year unless something happens in conference play, but I don't see it. But let's talk about Syracuse Orange. Because I'm not going to talk about my Notre Dame because we have a big game against Maryland tomorrow. Syracuse Orange. They were 4-1. You know, they beat Bucknell. And then they finally played some good teams. And it's one thing to lose because they had these 5 games coming up. It was that tournament, which they played Oklahoma State, Penn State. Then they have the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And they played Iowa tonight. And, of course, they got Georgia Tech this weekend. And they got Georgetown the next weekend. So they have these 5 big games. And they've lost 3 to start this. And
this is so sad. Alexa played Despacito.
It's one thing that Syracuse Orange lose these games. In the second half, they just fall apart. And they get blown out by Oklahoma State and Penn State and now Iowa tonight.
Alexa, play Sound of Silence.
I don't know what your thoughts on the team, Paul, but they're just young.
They're young.
They're a young team.
I think that's probably one of the main
they're making Gerard
things.
The starting point guard right now.
Yeah.
That is tough to do. Especially the ECC has a lot of good point guards this year. And it's going to be tough. The offense, they say it's one of the worst offensive Syracuse teams. It's up there. They got some shooters on this team. Some of their past teams have been pretty bad offensively. Offensively has been their problem for the last few years. And Buddy Boeheim, I don't think he's a shooter. He's not the go-to scorer. Elijah Hughes has to be the go-to scorer, but if Elijah Hughes is off, the team is off. And it sucks. You lost 3 guys you could have had back this year. Battle, Brissett, Howard. So 2 guys. Battle and Brissett. And one, I don't blame Battle. He graduated, had a good career. Would have been nice to have him back. But Brissett makes no sense why he left. No sense at all. It's going to be a long year. They remind me of my Notre Dame team last year. Notre Dame put a bunch of freshmen out there. Lost a lot. But hopefully they learn this year. We'll see. Syracuse is going to have to put out. They have a lot of freshmen on their team. They're going to go out there. They're going to lose a lot this year. They're going to lose a lot. But hopefully they learn. No one leaves. Don't leave. And they'll learn. They'll learn from this. I think there's going to be a lot of upsets this year in college basketball. But, Paul, what is your thoughts on Syracuse?
Well, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I think it's time that Jimmy Boeheim kind of finds a exit route fast. But it hurts. I think the Jalen Carey injury really hurts. They're young. Hey, there's going to be growing pains with this team. I still have hope.
They say it's one of the worst starts in a long time.
I'm not like some of these other Syracuse fans right now already waving the flag, but I mean, I hope for the sake of all of us that Howard Washington shows like he did again the past couple games. So Howard Washington's back to being the X factor for the Syracuse team.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
But ACC Big Ten Challenge concludes tomorrow. Right now, it looks like Duke's going to win. There's a lot of time left. Duke's up 13. Pittsburgh looks like they're going to win. And Indiana's got a lead over Florida State right now. And that would tie it. They would be tied at 4 going into tomorrow if things hold. We'll see. Some big games. Concludes on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU. I don't know. We'll see. I can't wait to conference play. That's when you really can get into see how teams shape up.
Mm-hmm.
One sleeper team I'll give you right now in December, Vermont. My buddy Nate from Vermont.
What's funny about this?
Anthony Lamb, a stud.
I'm about to say, Dickie V loves Anthony Lamb.
Yeah, Anthony Lamb's been there a long time now. I have this buddy.
Been there since 2007.
I have this buddy from college who's from Vermont, so I know everything about this team.
Shout out, was that Nate?
Nate.
Shout out Nate.
Yeah, I've heard of this Anthony Lamb guy for a while now. He's a stud.
That's gotta suck being from a state where your best collegiate team plays in the MEAC.
Yeah, they dominate that though. They do a good job.
Go Catamounts.
Yeah, the Catamounts. Obviously, Syracuse fans know. He brings it up all the time.
Go bleep yourself.
Their biggest win, I don't know when it was, early 2000s. Some point in the end.
2005 or 6.
Yeah, Catamounts beat them in the tournament.
All right. Speaking of beats, Nick, we'll go to you first.
Okay.
Lock of the week.
We're going to try to win you some money this week.
Yeah.
And I see this lock right now. I'm taking +3 Virginia at Purdue college basketball tomorrow night, 7:15. Get out there after work. Mm-hmm. Put that one in. I do have a funny story, though, with the bad beats. This one guy comes up to me at Del Lago.
Oh,
what's your lock of the day?
Yeah.
I was like, are you a fan of the show? I didn't say that, but I said Miami 10.5 plus 10.5 against the Browns. They got killed that day. If you're watching this, that guy, and you remember me, I'm sorry. But you're going to win it back tomorrow. Virginia.
So I'm going to stick with the college football route. I'm going to go with the Georgia-LSU game over 54.5 points.
54.5.
Yep.
Was that Georgia-LSU?
Yep.
54.5.
Yep.
Solid.
That's what I'm going to go with. Speaking of solid, that was a solid edition of the show and podcast today.
It was.
Nick, who are you shouting out?
I am shouting out... I don't have a shout-out today.
Wow. A first.
You know what? We'll make this official. This is my first no shout-out.
Oh, my gosh.
This is history. 60-something shows. You know what, Paul? I don't have someone to shout out.
Oh, my gosh.
Come back to me on Tuesday. I will give you a double shout-out to make up for it.
This changes the color background for me for the back here as we head out to red.
First ever. No shout-out.
I don't know what to do. Like the lights are red.
I got to write a list.
Oh, my gosh.
Figure out who I'm going to shout out.
Well, as always, we thank you for tuning in.
History.
I don't know what this happened. Here's what I can tell you to do. Like, share, subscribe. Tune in Thursday night for the Tip-Off Classic in Newark.
7'1".
7'1". We'll see you here next Tuesday.